So we hear this really shitty advice all the time. Stop buying lattes or stop buying avocado toast, and then you'll have all the money you need to buy a house and retire and whatever you want. I hate this for two reasons. One, it's denying people the ability to spend their money how they want. And two, it's completely false. We're comparing the price of a latte or multiple lattes to the price of a house. That's just not the same. If you buy a latte for, say, $5 every single day, that's still $1,825 a year. In the United States, the average price for a single family house is $261,600. Assuming that we need a 10% down payment on a house, in Norway you actually need 15% in order to get a loan unless you own other property, that's $26,160. That is 14 years of not buying that latte, assuming you buy it every single day for those $5. Now, I'm a firm believer that small sums do matter, they do add up. However, even I see that there's something wrong with this picture. What this outlandish advice is trying to do is mainly police and monitor the spending of the middle and the working class. Buying a latte every single day can be perfectly acceptable if it's A, part of your spending plan. I will link a video I did about that up here. And two, it's one of your priorities. How to figure out those priorities is exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Hi, my name is Annika. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to figure out your financial priorities. Figuring out your financial priorities is simple, but it takes a little bit of thinking and effort and sitting in some uncomfortable feelings. It's easy to just assume that your financial priorities are what other people's priorities are or what you're told they should be. Since we live in a capitalist society, we're constantly told that we need to prioritize everything, that we need to spend money on everything. And we know that's not possible and it's not a good tactic. So I want you to think a little more critically about how you actually want to spend your money in order to buy that latte if you want, buy that house if you want, and take a little bit of your power back from this constant messaging of need, buy, get, accumulate. Financial priorities can be organized in a myriad of different ways, from pyramids to flowcharts, but we're gonna do a very simple list. The one mine is based off I first found from Pengesnak. It's a Norwegian blog, podcast, YouTube channel. I will link it wherever I can. She takes a piece of paper, divides it into 4, and lists. A rough translation would be priorities, not priorities, goals, and how much is enough. I think that's a good question to always keep in mind when you want to buy something, when you feel like you want something. How much is enough? And you don't need to necessarily answer that question, but I think just having it in the back of your mind, it causes some reflection that otherwise wouldn't happen. I want us to go even more basic though, and we're just gonna list priorities on one side and not priorities on the other. To get started, I want you to take a single piece of paper and draw a line down the middle of it. On one side, write priorities, and on the other side, write not priorities. The goal here is to write down what you want and actually enjoy spending money on, not what you think you should want or think you should enjoy. Now this at first can be a lot harder than it might seem, because some things we're kind of constantly told to prioritize, but maybe it doesn't really align with our values and how we want to spend our money. This is an ongoing exercise, so although we're gonna get you started right now, this is a sheet of paper or a Word document or whatever you want that you can keep adding to and moving things around. Listing your financial priorities can feel a bit abstract, kind of like the spark joy from the KonMari method of decluttering. So I'm gonna give you some concrete ideas and examples to get you started. Look, for instance, at this list of common things people spend money on. I will also have the entire list listed down in the description box so you can take it at your own pace. You have things like that latte we talked about, takeaway food, alcohol, gifts, new tech gear, shoes, clothes, savings, theme parks, personal bath items, streaming services on TV, dancing, music, courses and classes, flowers and plants, and so on and so on. I would recommend trying to get specific, because that way you're kind of giving yourself less wiggle room. For instance, food is a very big category. So for me, a priority is cooking good food at home, but takeout is not a priority. Try not to overthink it, but go with your gut feeling because it's usually correct. Also, this is not like an assignment that you're gonna get graded. If you get something wrong and you realize it's in the wrong column, just move it. Try to think about what you, one, enjoy spending money on, two, what you rarely or never regret spending money on, and three, what you feel gives you most for your money. If you need even more help, one thing you could do is print out your transactions from the past few months, go through and highlight and see kind of what made you feel good, what purchases you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. Remember that this is not an exercise in shame or guilt. We are trying to manage our spending for the future by looking at what we enjoyed spending money on in the past. This is not to look back and go, oh, I was so dumb for spending money on all these things. That's not what we're doing here. Give yourself grace, you're on a journey, you're learning. We are just trying to speed up that process so you can feel better about your money sooner. Every time you're about to buy something or consider buying something, try to think, which side of the paper is this on? If it's listed under not priorities, could you not buy it? Sometimes there are things we need that we don't necessarily want, but try to reflect, is there something you could do? Could you do without it? Could you borrow it from a friend? Could you try to trade for it? I would recommend filling out this list alone, but to share the results with your partner or whoever you share your finances with. I think a lot of tension with shared finances comes from the fact that we are prioritizing differently, but we don't know it. If you're sharing your finances with someone, you're gonna have to figure out how to deal with those areas of tension. Remember, this is not an exercise in shame or guilt. It's just to help you become more aware of what matters to you so you can spend your money on that. That way you avoid spending money on things you don't like. You avoid that guilt that comes with, shopper's remorse. And you free up more funds to spend on things that actually do matter to you, that do add joy to your life. Your priorities will change and shift over time, so don't be afraid to move things from one side to the other. For instance, I used to really enjoy collecting quantities of books. I don't really do that anymore. I get them from the library and I just purchase the books I know I really love. And that's okay. We change, our priorities change. It's a piece of paper. Move it from one side to the next, make a new one. It's not gonna have hurt feelings. This is also kind of an exercise on going against the culture you're in. So let me know in the comments down below, what's something that you prioritize or don't prioritize that maybe goes a little bit against the values of your family or your friend group or whatever culture setting you're in. Talking about finances can be awkward and kind of tough, but I hope you enjoyed this video and that you got something from it and that your finances will be better for it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I upload videos on finances, minimalism, and messy motherhood every Friday. Thank you so much and bye!